Captain's log, stardate 53963.7. For the past few weeks, we have been on patrol along the Cardassian demilitarized zone. Vice Admiral Piera has ordered the Monarch to set to us. Sorry, has ordered the Monarch to a set of coordinates along the border to begin negotiations on behalf of Starfleet and the Corps of Engineers for a rare Calirium ore. This ore, from what I am told, is needed in the construction of several new civilian housing complexes that were destroyed during the war on Cardassia. I am told that there are three potential traders for the ore in this region who will be arriving shortly. Hopefully, these negotiations will go over smoothly, though I'm sure it'll prove to be interesting since one of them is a Ferengi. End log.
All right. So that kind of gives you guys the little directive of the mission today. Guys are on a trade negotiation mission. The Monarch has arrived at the coordinates and is currently waiting for the ships to arrive.
Commander Cyril, can I see you in my ready room?
Of course.
Commander, please have a seat.
She walks in and takes a seat.
Commander,
Yes,
I'm sure you've been briefed on the some of the issues or the delegations that we'll be having for this trade negotiation. I want you to divvy out. There's at least get to know more about this Cladonium ore that we're told to procure by Starfleet. I also want you to look in a couple of these different groups, and she hands you a pad.
Okay, takes the pad. Kind of has a look at these groups. Glances at the text for a few seconds. She says as she sort of scrolls through it.
Let me get the names of them really quick. They're not all in order.
Feel free to delegate getting the information on both the ore and the different species involved in this. I do have limited information on them. The more I can get, the helpful this will be during the negotiations.
Interesting. This scrolls through. Did you have any initial thoughts of which of the three was appealing to you?
Unfortunately, I do not. Haven't been briefed on a lot of this information. Just orders from the admiral to wait here and host the delegations. I would like to know more about the individual players for these negotiations, which will hopefully prove some insight during these.
Very well, Captain. We'll do some digging, see what we can find out about these three major players and also the nature of the ore and its potential value too.
But yes, please feel free to assign anyone from the senior staff to help you on this.
Thank you, Captain. I have a few ideas of how we'll get this done. Do we have an ETA as to when everyone will arrive? What's my sort of time frame?
GM.
Ops or security. It's a roll, is what I'm saying.
Wait, do I need to roll something?
Yes.
I zoned out, sorry.
No, they didn't give anyone an order to. Hey, when were the ships arriving? So go ahead and roll me a reason with I believe your security skill difficulty 1.
I believe Lieutenant Casey will have that information for you.
Ah, good. How are you settling in as captain?
I'm getting there. It
Of
is
course.
slightly different from being EXO, but
Well, the crew's gossip, she says, and she raises an eyebrow. The crew like you. I've heard no dissent, no cold feet since losing the last captain, which is encouraging.
well, that's excellent to hear.
And she nods.
Lieutenant Casey to Captain Prax. The ships with the traders will be arriving in 1
Understood. Thank you, Lieutenant. I believe we have our answer, Commander.
Well, I should get busy then, Captain.
Yes, I do appreciate that.
She stands up out of her
You're
chair,
dismissed.
places her hands at the small of her back, and she nods, and she walks out.
Prax taps the console. Commander Dae,
Yes, Captain.
please have accommodations ready for the trade delegations that'll be arriving soon, along with having the conference room prepped and ready for negotiations.
Will do, sir. Would you like me to be
Thank you.
present at the negotiations?
Yes, please.
She will.
Prax out.
All right, where do we want to head to next?
I'm going to seek out Casey. I imagine he is on the bridge. She walks onto the bridge. She has her arms clasped at the small of her back. She kind of walks past the command chair. She walks over to Casey. Looks at him for a second. Lieutenant, I have a job for you.
Yes, Commander.
The delegates that are arriving, there's 3, she says, and she looks at her pad. The first is the Cavra. They're a bipedal race. They look as though they're oceanic, in fact. I would like very much to know about these races. The second are miners, a mining corp. Independent, in fact. Could be interesting. Independent within the Talarian Republic. And last of all, we have a Ferengi who says that he or she have secured a source of this ore. Ferengi can be very useful if treated correctly. What I would like you to do is a little bit of digging for me, so that we know a little bit about these delegates before they show up. Give us a bit of an edge. I like edges, she says. And she hands him the data slate. And
Understood, Commander. I'll get on.
I will PM you what's on the data slate. Through it to you on Discord.
So do I need to do what sort of do I need to roll to get more information on this, or
Yeah, I'll go ahead and set up a.
sure?
Let me see what I want it to be. Let's go ahead and do. Let's go with your reason command. We'll make it a difficulty 1.
Okay. Does observation count as a focus on this?
No.
Right.
Because you're essentially pulling things up from a computer.
Right.
Oh wow, I picked your worst stats.
Yep.
Cool. Nope.
Job, man.
Yeah, reason command is not Casey's core function.
All right, that's the information on the 3 groups.
Should I just pass this along to you, Commander, or would you like it formally?
I would like you to look over it, see what you think, and then we can present it to the captain.
Right, understood.
So make a speech.
Right, okay. I feel like I have to go to the ready room for this one, because it would be a long combat speech.
Naturally. Yes.
So Casey will go ring the door chime on the ready.
All right. Was there anything else that needed to happen on the bridge before we head back to
Yes.
El Cap?
She'll look over at De Grasse and she'll say, Lieutenant, I would like Science's opinion on the ore. Composition, values, and galactic market value would be excellent, if possible. That way we know whether people are getting a good deal or not.
Of course, Commander. You got it. And how should I roll this?
All right. Let's go ahead and do a reason engineering roll.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and make this a difficulty 1. And then, Commander, can you put the 3 questions in text really quick so I can make sure I hit all those points?
Sure.
So I got a couple of them. I just want to make sure I got all of them.
Mm-hmm. Which one is... There we go.
Oh, you butted roll 20. Cool. All right, cool.
Yeah, I saw that. Looks...
Oh, and I should probably give the ship some type of assist on this as well.
A ship assist would be extremely helpful right now.
Well, the ship can't assist in yours because you failed.
Darn.
However, the ship needed to assist with the first roll, so let's go ahead and go computers command on that first one, just to see if you get any extra momentum. So you guys have 3. All right, so I can give you some of it. Do a little success at cost.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
no need to roleplay it, but Dai would go and see the XO and make sure there's some synergy between her and the XO if she's going to be setting up a conference room and any kind of quarters for any of this delegation. She's going to need to know, or would like to know, any needs that they need to be met. I'm sure she has the info on that, so she would do her job and get that information, whatever she would end up giving her, just to prepare. I don't know. I don't know if they need like a swimming pool in the conference room for the aquatic beings.
I'll let you get a roll. I'll let you get a roll to try to create an advantage that you guys get to use later. But let me finish this.
I think I got just a thing for that. Yeah. 2. Yeah, get a like a little kiddie pool. Pair of floaties.
I think that will be the info I can give you.
Okay. Cool.
And Counselor, go ahead and roll me Presence Command difficulty 2.
Cool. Presence command. Is this a social role? Can I use insightful guidance to create a advantage? I guess you already said I could create advantage, so that doesn't really matter.
Well, that's what the roll is for, is to see if you can create an advantage that you guys get to determine what it is when you need.
I'm sorry. Again, it was command and
Presence Command.
okay, cool. Diplomacy work for focus. Psychology for diplomacy. Does this work for focus?
Cool. You guys make a momentum, and then you guys get to bank an advantage to be determined later.
Sweet.
Cool. Commander, I wasn't able to find much on the ore. It looks like it's a lightweight material that's one of the easiest known materials to work with for building structures quickly and efficiently. Starfleet Corps of Engineers are actively trying to get a reliable supply and have been for a few years since its initial discovery. I wasn't able to find much more than that at the present time.
Okay. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Of course.
All right, and then I think we could probably head to the ready. We need door chime.
Do we have a door chime yet?
I still don't think we got one.
All right. Bleep bloop.
Enter.
Captain, Commander True had me prepare a briefing on the delegates who are coming for the trade negotiations. She wanted a bit more detailed information on the species and suggested that I present.
Yes.
All right, so the first race are bipedal, but evolved on a planet almost entirely composed of. They've evolved from some type of shellfish on their homeworld, and they have a hardened white skin and 4 fingers on either hands. With the weakening of the Cardassians after the Dominion War, this race, the Kavra, have successfully pushed out any remaining Cardassian personnel and have claimed independence for themselves. The Cavra have been the victims of Cardassian occupation, and several Starfleet delegations have reported similar tragedies and large-scale atrocities on par with that suffered by the Bajorans. Bitis is an independent planet located near the Cardassian border with the Tellarian Republic. The independent miners of Bitis work for a company ran by a Federation member species, but the colony itself is not part of the Federation. The miners of Bitis have been trading with the Maquis in the past and have some sympathy for their cause. They are upset that the Federation would not come to the aid of the people when they were suffering under Cardassian rule. As for the particular Ferengi that is coming to attend these negotiations, we have no information, at least available to us from Starfleet and intelligence on this individual, but they do claim to have the Selenium ore. Other than that, we have nothing. If you'd like, Captain, I can send you this information on a pad, so you don't have to memorize it all.
Please do, and good work, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Captain.
So if there's any questions about any of those races that you guys want to get with any of your momentum, Captain and Casey, that would be a good time. Or anyone else for that matter, since if he's giving it to you guys.
The Cavra, are they going to need like accommodations as far as like some sort of suit to wear, or are they going to be able to walk in our environment?
I'll just post the information I got in the main chat and say I sent it out like to all the senior.
Cool.
I'll give you that one for free. They do not need any special accommodation.
My question is,
Thanks.
I guess, for the Cavra, what is their current political status? Since they kind of rebelled against the Cardassian occupation.
What do you mean by political status? Like, are they independent? Are they a member of the Cardassian Union? Is that what you're referring?
More like, yeah, I guess, are they independent? And then it says in that they've claimed independence, but is there currently, I guess, any political strife between the two? Is Cardassia still claiming them as part of their domain, or have they recognized them as a free state?
I will accept the question. With the state of the Cardassian Union as a whole, they have not touched the issue of the Cavra's independence. So Cardassia has withdrawn from the planet, but they have not formally recognized them either. I think is what you were asking.
Yeah.
Are they an alien race that would be a candidate to join Starfleet? Or I'm sorry, the Federation?
You will not be able to learn that now.
Okay.
And as for the miners, so trying to think on that. So I guess what atrocities did the Cardassians do to the mining colony, the independent mining colony? Or at least what have they claimed?
So I will take that question as well. So it's been documented from Federation delegations heading to the planet that they put them in prison camps, forced them to mine and strip the planet of the resources, committed killings and murder of the citizens of Kavra. Standard Cardassian fare.
Kind of short my notes. So they were kind of pretty much forced to work as slave labor for the Cardassians.
Yep, similar to what Bajor was put under.
Right.
Wait, I'm not sure if I clarified this in my briefing, but the miners of Bitis are like a separate species from the Cabra. They're like, I think.
No, they're I know they're essentially probably made up a bunch of various races, from what it sounds like.
Right.
So I don't know if that's gonna be too momentous or not, but is there a leader or someone that will be holding the delegations for their respected sides?
So the Kavra is setting basically their trade negotiators, like their trade ministers. And it's kind of the same thing with the miners. Like they're selling like they're sending their like best negotiator. So I'll give you that free.
Okay. All right. That's kind of all I can think of right now. Unless anyone else has anything to say.
Nope.
Nothing here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if there's nothing more to do in this scene, we can go ahead and jump to scene 2 with the arrival of the delegation. So yeah, we'll go ahead and jump to scene 2.
I dropped us down to 1 momentum.
Cool. And then whoever's on the bridge and checking their sensors, one by one, the 3 ships start showing up, spaced a few minutes apart.
I'll take this one. Commander, looks like the ships have started to arrive.
Very well, says. Taps the comm badge. Captain to the bridge, please.
On
Perhaps
my
we
way.
should wait and see who hails us first.
I'll make my way there too.
Have you received any transmissions yet?
Not as yet, Captain.
One moment.
Thank you.
Captain, the Kavra are communicating that they are ready to board.
Send acknowledgments and have transporter room prepare to receive them.
Yes, ma'am.
Commander, Counselor, if you won't mind joining me in the transporter room to greet the delegation.
Captain? Yes.
Sir.
Lieutenant DeGrasse, you have the bridge.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
I will shoot across a smile. One of those little, like, gun fingers.
DeGrasse's eyes are going to go a little wide since this is the first time he sat in the chair.
Thank you, Prax. There we go. And I do not need you to repeat, though.
Hit the X
It's like-
button on it.
It's like, I'm not listening.
Does it play once or multiple times? Oh,
It
multiple.
plays
Okay,
multiple times.
cool. Hit it, then pause it. Cool. Right, so transporter room, which we don't have. I guess this will work.
Oh god, the unfinished room.
I can see Sulu running down the
Sorry, guys, we don't have a budget for sets.
The
This is what
corridor.
you get. Or it could be this one.
Ooh, nice.
This is not main engineering of it. Constitution was.
God, look at the sleekness of the design. Big plastic buttons.
All right, so who's all here? Daye, Captain, Commander, anyone else?
I guess just the three of us. And maybe security, I would think.
Cool. So when you guys get to the transporter room, they report as being ready to...
Prax just nods.
Where's my notes? All right, so appearing on the pad are two members of the Cavro race. Like I said, they're a bipedal race. They like their skin is like a white colored skin that kind of looks like a hardened shell, and they have 4 fingers on each one of their hands.
Are these those fish guys from TNG? Back in the day, I don't know if you guys remember those guys.
I
They were
yeah, I know.
insane looking.
I know who I know who you're talking about.
Welcome
They
aboard
look.
the USS Monarch. Welcome aboard. I am Captain Azrael Prax. This is my first officer, Commander Saru, and Counselor Dae.
Thank you for having us aboard, Captain. And then the other one speaks. We are named Kratsu.
Both of you?
That is correct, Commander.
Fascinating. Do you require any accommodations while you're aboard the vessel for the negotiations?
If you figure this to be a lengthy trial, Captain, and then the other one speaks, we would like combined quarters.
I have all that set for you, and any of your accommodations or any changes that you need to make, she says I can take care of you on that. The counselor says to them.
And they both kind of give a synchronized bow and say that would be nice.
Excellent. If you like, I can set a time if you like a tour of this vessel.
If it is all the same, and then they switch speaking, Captain, we would like to commence the negotiations, they switch back, as soon as possible.
I see.
So as they're talking, to kind of give you guys a visual reference of this, they tend to finish each other's sentences.
Mm-hmm.
I see. If you don't mind, Commander, if you don't mind showing them to the conference room, I'm sure the other
Yes, Captain.
delegations would like to be arriving shortly.
She looks over at the two. She says, "Follow me," and indicates with her hand.
And they follow you out of the transport.
DeGrasse to Captain.
Yes, Lieutenant.
The Beatrice miners are reporting ready for transport.
Understood. Let them know we are ready to receive them.
Of course. And I let them know.
Welcome aboard the USS Monarch. I am Captain Azrael Prax. This is Counselor Dae.
We wish to welcome you to Munchkin Land.
We understand you wish to conduct trade negotiations with us.
That is correct. And you are?
Crap, I wasn't holding down my push to talk. God damn it.
Yeah. You were silent for a while. We're like,
All right, so on the transporter pad, if you guys didn't get that, is 2 humans and 1 Tellarite in the middle. As soon as he beamed down, or as soon as you acknowledged him, he said, "My name is Vigrog Vap Blap, and these are my associates, Cullen and Eskel."
And Colin and Eskel are the humans, right?
Correct.
Big flap.
Uh,
I did not make it easy on myself.
Mr. Black.
Wivrog va blap.
Vibra.
Livrog Jav Blap.
Yeah, Jav.
Jav Blap.
Jav. Or... Welcome aboard. Yes, the other one of the other members of the delegation have already arrived. Do you think you require any accommodations aboard this vessel during this time?
Good quarters, good company, good drink is all we require, Captain.
Very well, I believe the counselor has set up some quarters for you. Do you require individual quarters?
Do you think I'm sharing a room with these two?
My character smiles. We have you taken care of. She says, I can take care of all of your needs. She says, we have plenty of drink.
Very well. Take me to it.
I will go and take his arm kind of in front of the captain to kind of...
Counselor, show them to your quarters, and then where they're settled in, have them meet us in the conference room.
Okay. I will walk him down the hall.
As you reach for his arm, he pushes it away. I can walk myself, temptress.
I like him.
She says, "Too high and mighty to walk with a woman." She says,
I don't need to be led around like some stray animal.
"Perhaps it is I that needs to be led around," she says, "by an accomplished individual such as yourself."
Flattery will get you nowhere. And he walks out of the room.
She smiles, looks at the captain, follows him out. I will take them to their quarters, making sure to vaguely insult him a couple times and ask him about his trip, if there is any complications, and listen to him, actively listen to what the complications were, or any type of things that he disliked about it.
Yep, and as you're walking, you can just tell he's grumpy, he's in a foul mood. You know, typical Tellarite.
Okay.
Complaining about this, that, the other thing. You know, not warm enough, too hot here, the light hurts his eyes, where's his drink, you know.
I'll indulge him totally, like with banter back and forth, because that's kind of the way of the Tellarites.
DeGrasse to Captain Prax.
Go ahead, Lieutenant.
The last of our guests have arrived. The Ferengi has hailed and is ready for transport.
Acknowledge. Tell them we are ready to receive.
Aye, Captain. And I do so.
And appearing on the transporter this time is a female Ferengi, and in her hand is a type of. Ah, you must be the captain.
Indeed, I am. And here I was expecting someone else. It's wonderful to see Ferengi such as your caliber rise to status.
Women are just as capable of earning profit as the men do.
I couldn't agree more. I am Captain Nazriel Prax. This is the USS Monarch. Welcome aboard.
I am Laras. This is for you, Captain, and she hands you a bottle of Saurian brandy.
Oh, very delightful. Thank you for your kind gesture. If you don't mind, do you require any quarters before we begin the negotiations that I can set you up with?
I'm sure your finest quarters will do just fine, Commander.
Very well. If you don't mind, I will show them to you. Then we can adjourn to the conference room where we'll begin the negotiations.
Very well, Commander.
It's
Captain.
Captain.
Captain. That was me forgetting that, not the character.
I know.
You've been Commander for a year.
It's true.
And we'll door swoosh it out of here.
Swoosh.
And I think we'll go ahead and just convene everyone in the conference room.
Facebook representatives have arrived, Captain.
This one where I'm clicking on is the Cavra delegation. The bigger one on this side is the miners. The one at the end here is the Ferengi. Since I don't think I know how to change your color or anything.
If you click on the token, there's a sort of a circle next to the cog, and then you can assign colors.
Right. Blue Cavra, red miners, green Ferengi.
Esteemed delegates, thank you for joining us. I'm sure you are apprised that the Federation is looking for a supply line of. I already forgot it. Kellium, is that right?
Close enough.
Yep.
And the Tellart will speak up. Excuse me, Captain. Where did you say this ore was going?
Starfleet has asked me to procure a supply line to help in construction efforts in the region.
What projects would you be using this ore for?
For civilian use, mainly for housing.
And the Cavra will speak up. Who has need of housing?
As you are well aware that in this region of space, the Dominion War was fought a year ago, and many worlds were suffered, not only on both sides.
The Tellart will speak up. So you have need of it to rebuild your member worlds. Is that correct?
Do you have enough to supply us? The commander says.
We are just beginning to spin up our mining of this ore.
I see. And your resources are vast enough for large-scale operations, yes? She says.
In a manner of a few weeks, we could mass produce this ore.
But you're not prepared now.
Would depend on how much you require.
Then perhaps we should move to that stage. We should find out exactly what resources you each have, and what you're willing to offer, and what your prices are. The use of the ore is irrelevant at this stage. She glances at the captain and nods to her slightly.
She just nods. As you can see, Starfleet wants a stable shipment of ore for supply.
And the Ferengi will speak up. And she'll look at the other two groups. You know, they don't want this ore for just their own member worlds. Isn't that right, Captain?
You are indeed correct. It is not just for us. I'm not going to sit here and lie to your faces.
And the Cavra will speak. Pray tell, Captain, who else will require this ore?
As you know, the Cardassian their homeworld was devastated by their own allies at the final moments of the war. Needless to say, some would say it's poetic justice, considering how the Cardassians treated everybody, including the worlds that they occupied. But needless to say, Starfleet is engaged in humanitarian operations to help rebuild civilian housing complexes for the Cardassian people.
And as you finish that sentence, the Tellarite will speak up. Let the bloody Cardis lie in their own mess. And the Cavra will speak up. We cannot assist the Cardassians after what they have done to our people.
I'm well aware what the Cardassians have done to your people. They've committed atrocities across all boards, including certain member worlds. I do believe you with the Carva that you have not received, or have just recently received your independence, but have not been recognized by the Cardassians yet. It will go a long way, and I can persuade members of my government to recognize that independence and push for the Cardassians to recognize you as an independent state.
The helping of children and families finding their homes would be greatly appreciated, she says. Looking at the captain.
And the Cavra will speak up. Well, what about our families? What of our children, our homes?
Commander looks at the captain and the counselor. She says, "Are you around this table business people? Are we conducting business today?" And she looks at the three.
And the Fring will speak up. You know, and she'll get up and walk to the screen.
Is she
Over
naked, by
there.
the way? Just out of
No,
curiosity.
she is
Okay.
closed.
Okay. Trying to put a shit out of my mind here.
You know, Captain, it doesn't seem these two are ready to negotiate any deal here today. However, I have all the ore that you can possibly need. And she taps a few buttons on the console and pulls up a planet. My mining operation can deliver all the ore you require. If, of course, we can find a favorable payment.
You do not know our requirements yet. Perhaps rule of acquisition number 5 applies in this. And she levels a look at the Ferengi.
Trust me. You are forgetting the 9th rule of acquisition. Opportunity plus instinct equals profit. I know a good opportunity when I see one. I know where there is profit in the wind.
Commander looks to the other two to see what they're doing.
I will try to see if I can gauge their emotions. You have to make a roll for that, or what do you want me to do?
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a presence medicine roll. Let's call this a difficulty 2 to get both.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Because you know you're trying to pick out individual people from all of this.
Sure. Psychology, diplomacy, empathetic sensing.
Empathetic sensing, I think.
Cool. Okay, and you said, I'm sorry, what was it one more time? It was
Presence and medicine.
medicine? Alright, cool. Thanks.
I think that's close enough to what it would be.
Yeah. I think so too. Do you have any momentum? Can I spend a momentum?
You guys have one.
Sweet. I'll spend it. And I will roll.
All right, you guys get 2 momentum out of it.
I would like to do an insight check on Laris. Sort of kind of gauge what she's. I know she's kind of after this trade deal, but she's also seems kind of suspicious at the same time. Just kind of want to gauge what her emotions are, since like her body language, body language, essentially.
All right, so I gave Counselor Dai her info. Commander Prax, go ahead and roll me an insight command. Let's go ahead and make this a difficulty.
You cut out there. What was the difficulty?
2.
Composure for a focus, or deception?
No.
I'm gonna spend that 1 momentum. Oops. 2.
Yep. I'll send it to you.
Well, Lars, I hope, judging by the rule of acquisition number 57, but I would like to point out rule of acquisition number 74. Believe there is some more knowledge here to gain from all sides, and I believe the others here in the room would like to have a chance for a very lucrative opportunity for them.
If you feel that is necessary, Commander, I am simply offering you a deal right now that will get you all the ore you need. And all it will cost you is the low, low price of 2,000 bricks of gold-pressed platinum.
Bricks. Nice.
Shrew looks over the captain. She says, logically speaking, we would need to hear the proposals of the other 2 delegates before we could form a decision based upon what would be best for us in this situation.
Agreed.
Perhaps some time to recess, Captain, she says, to allow the delegates to present what they can offer.
Indeed.
Gentlemen and lady, if
Right.
you don't mind, we'll take a short break here.
Hold on, I'm going to pause you guys right. I'm going to pause you guys right there. Okay, so both of you guys are on the bridge. So I need one of you. It doesn't matter to roll me a insight using security or science difficulty 1.
I have 9 insight, 5 security. What do you
I
like?
have nine insight, 5 science.
So it doesn't matter. Can we both roll?
Well,
Probably only one of you.
owing to how I rolled earlier versus how you rolled, I say you take this one.
Is there any focus? Like, what kind of action is it? Could either of us have a relevant focus?
Let me look at your sheets.
No, that's right. I have bold.
I would give both of you a focus.
I have bold. So if we want to generate threat for this, do you have bold?
I do.
So we are literally the exact same people, but mirrored.
Yeah. Nah, just take it. All you,
Alright.
bud. Yeah.
And I'm gonna generate the threat to roll 3 dice. Might as well.
Okay.
Wow, that is terrible.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Ship does not get anything.
That's my reroll for bold.
Uh,
Oh, okay,
Cool.
that's your reroll with the 0. Cool.
Good thing I did the
Yeah.
bold there.
Chip sensors and why'd you roll command?
Oh shoot.
You wouldn't have gotten anything else because it was a 7 and a 5. So yeah, you just got the 1 success, or the 2. All right, you guys are at 3 momentum.
Casey to Captain Prax. I got
And
muted
DeGrasse, that sound is coming from your.
I'm sorry, the sound?
Yeah, the sound is actually coming from your panel. It's a hey, look at me warning thing on your.
Gotcha.
Red thingy.
So DeGrasse, roll me an insight engineering difficulty 1, and DeGrasse, I will no longer interrupt you.
Okay.
Prax here. Go ahead, Lieutenant.
Captain, you should get to the bridge immediately. We have an anomaly developing off the port bow, 50 kilometers. We can't determine the cause of the fluctuation.
Understood. If you don't mind, the council will show you the delegates to your quarters. I advise you inform your ships of the anomaly. And Prax is going to head to the bridge.
I will do that and then arrive to the bridge later afterward.
As soon as Prax arrives on the bridge, I'm going to grab her attention, motion her over.
What is it, Lieutenant?
Captain, according to what I'm seeing, it looks like an emergency power backup battery is missing. It also doesn't look like we have a replacement for this or can easily replicate it. I don't know what's going on.
Was there a transport on this ship? some sort of
I will roll
transport
to find
technology
out.
at work?
So that could be your free question.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so was there some sort of transport technology that we could detect that beamed it off? Captain, we did not detect any unauthorized transports.
Commander, go to blue alert.
Yes, Captain.
Raise the shields.
And she
I
goes
want a
over
full
to the
sensor
column and
sweep
she
on that
taps that in.
anomaly. Sorry, go ahead.
Captain, it seems we're no longer detecting the fluctuation.
Captain, I would suggest scanning the other ships for our missing technology. Says looking at her.
Scan the Ferengi vessel first, and then move to the other two.
All right, we'll go ahead and make this a control or reason with security skill difficulty 2. You know what? Make it difficulty 3 for scanning each. We'll make it 1 roll.
Spend a threat and 2 momentum, so you can roll 4 dice. And does the ship assist on this?
Yes, sensors security.
I believe it was Casey rolling that.
Yes.
Sorry, I got a text from someone. I just had a really long day. What was the roll?
Reason or control with your security difficulty 3.
And you said it was sensor security?
Yep.
We do have advanced sensors.
Difficulty 2.
Okay.
But roll 4 dice. Give him a threat, and then we spent 2 momentum.
Okay, I'll do that.
All right, I'm up to 12 threat. And you can re-roll that complication. All right, so you got 3 momentum.
Perfect.
Job.
Would help if I could spell today.
Captain, it seems we don't detect the component on any of the other ships in the air.
Is there any analysis you can come up with, DeGrosse, on what caused the anomaly? And then our missing battery backup?
I can certainly try. So I'm assuming that even though Casey detected the anomaly, we still have the sensor readings, like in the computer systems, right? Can I review those for any? I mean, to see if I see anything.
That's what he got.
Awesome. Okay, and so there's no other rolls I can make to try to
Nope.
determine the cause. Okay.
It was like it was there, and then it was as soon as you read it, it was gone.
Gotcha. Cool. Captain, I'm reviewing the sensor data right now, and I don't know what this is. It doesn't look like anything we have record of. It doesn't look like anything I've seen before, and it was over and done extremely quickly. I'm not sure we'll ever be able to know exactly what this was. However, Captain, if I may, it might be useful for someone to go down and physically check the area with the missing battery backup. There might be some evidence down there that maybe our, ship sensors are not picking up at this time.
Agreed. Take Lieutenant Casey with you. You two work on this in conjunction, find out how or why that battery disappeared. Commander, I'd like to remain on blue alert until we know more about this situation.
She nods.
Counselor, what were your thoughts with the two of the delegations? I know the Ferengi is not easily read through empathic or telepathic, well, they're immune to empathic and telepathic abilities.
Yes, they are, Captain. The Tellarite seemed very angry, and it would seem that the Carvana? Cara? I wrote it down too. Cavra. That the Cavra were a little bit disappointed at what's transpiring. And might I suggest, just as if we'd go into meeting with them again, since you would be having myself and Saru is there, so we could telepathically speak. It could make an advantage. We could conversate amongst each other, maybe share my feelings, and she can share her thoughts as well. Might be an advantage in the next meeting.
Right. I find it puzzling, though, that Larsa is able to procure as much of this ore as we need, yet I get the feeling that she's hiding something. She seemed nervous during the meeting. Commander, could you go through your contacts and see if you can find out more information on her?
Yes, Captain.
I know Ferengi women were just recently granted the opportunity to deal business. It's quite quick of her to have a sudden large-scale operation.
Agreed. I can definitely do that for you, Captain.
If you'd like, I could work.
Sorry, go ahead.
If you'd like, I could work on the Tellarite delegate. Maybe I can convince them to be less angry over the situation.
Why don't you discuss with them and then just ask if they've had any. I have a suspicious feeling, but see if there's any ore that has turned up missing among their stockpiles.
Okay, Captain.
Or anything missing, for that matter.
I can work on that now. She gets up. She makes her way over to the turbolift to go tend to the Tellarites and visit them and make sure that they got everything that they need, but also to carouse them and throw some questions out there.
Cool.
I believe everyone has their assigned duties.
Yes, Captain.
Okay, so tell me where you guys wish to go first.
DeGrasse and I were heading down to investigate that Jeffrey's tube or wherever that it was.
I guess this will have to suffice. Since we don't have a proper engine room yet. I thought you liked the retro look.
Looks like a DSL modem on the wall there.
Federation
Yeah.
cutting corners.
Yeah.
You look around like, who installed this place?
Yeah, DeGrasse is going to walk in and be like, what? I don't even know where I am.
Oh, no. The dilithium crystals are out. Push them back down.
Hold on, let me check the archives, see if I have anything more upgraded. I don't even know what the hell's in here.
That's funny.
I could drop you something pretty quick if you want. You're looking for engineering? Is that what you're looking for, or what are you looking for?
Yeah,
Let me grab something real quick.
because I think the other thing close would be the Hadfield's engineering, but that's a Nova, so it's tiny.
No, I got a good engineering. Engineering. There we go. I don't know. I'll just drop some things and then whatever you want to use if you don't want to use anything. Yeah, the only other one I have is the Nova one, or you could use like an intermix chamber for the old stuff.
Yeah, for now we'll use the Nova one. I'll look at those and try to throw them in later if I find something good.
Cool. I'll keep dropping them. Two more.
Just so I'm not taking forever to figure it out or to find one and upload it. All right, there we are. So, what are you guys doing?
DeGrasse is going to just go to the location of the battery backup that has been noticed to be missing, and then just physically check the location to see if he sees anything.
Yeah.
Casey will look for signs of tampering.
Yeah, it's totally missing.
No other marks, nothing else.
It doesn't look like it was ripped off. It doesn't look like it was stolen. It's just gone.
Okay. So DeGrasse is going to take out his trusty tricorder and attempt to do some readings. Casey,
Yes,
could you come over here for a second?
sure.
I found nothing. Nothing on the tricorder. Nothing physically indicative of anything leaving. It appears to have simply disappeared.
I'd like to, like I said, investigate a little closer, just see if there's tampering of any kind.
If there was what? Sorry, you
Like
broke up.
tampering. To see if there's tampering, like scan, or just invest. I'm not sure what role that would be. Perfect. I don't see anything either.
Okay. Are there any? I'm assuming there are engineers in engineering. A
Yeah.
few workers, something like that.
Yeah, they're working on trying to bypass the system because it is like an emergency backup.
Sure,
So
sure.
if they need it, they're trying to scramble how to replace it.
So the grass is going to walk up to one of them and ask, "Did you see anything happen? Did you see anything take place?"
No, Lieutenant, this isn't an area we check regularly. We maybe check this area once a day, and it wasn't timed for its inspection.
Okay. I'm assuming there were no intruders, nobody suspicious, nobody who was down here that wasn't on shift.
No, Lieutenant, not that we saw.
All right, carry on.
And the crewmen will go about their duty.
Casey, I am not sure we're going to find anything down here.
I tend to agree.
Any ideas?
I'm going to have to think on that one. This one really has me stumped.
Likewise.
And sure would have been nice if Omox didn't have the cold.
That's true, but apparently he's confined to his quarters at the moment, so. Based on the engineering workers, I'm assuming they're proceeding with their work. Does it appear, actually I'll just ask one. I'll ask him if they believe that they'll be able to successfully bypass the problem.
Well, Lieutenant, it's rather difficult without having the replacement. We're going to have to double up on one of the secondary backup batteries, but we should be okay.
Understood. Let me know if status change.
And he'll nod and go about his work.
Okay. Well, Casey, I wonder if this is related to our guest on board.
Yes, that always is a question. It might be, our only option might be to stay here and see if it happens.
Well,
if they take out the rest of our power cells, we're going to be really in a pickle. I'm not sure what other avenues we could pursue here. It must be something really unusual if it was to evade all our sensors, as our computer is very powerful and has all known scientific knowledge stored.
I agree. Well, one of us can either take post here, or we can attempt to set up some sort of recording device on the rest of the batteries to see if anything happens to them. Well, how about this? You're chief of security. You might be needed on the bridge more than me, so I'll stay down here in engineering, help out where I can, and I'll try to keep an eye on the remaining battery backups.
That sounds good. It might be worthwhile if we can put an active sensor scan on the area where the anomaly first appeared.
Great idea. Could I attempt to do that from down in engineering?
What would you like to do?
An active sensor scan on the area with the anomaly to see if it shows back up or if anything were, to happen in that same area.
Let's go. Let's make it a difficulty 3 using... we could go ahead and use your science and your control.
Awesome. And I'm assuming sensor operations applies here. Cool.
Cool.
And a ship assist?
I'm gonna say no, because you're just kind of like telling the ship to look here, and you're not like... Yeah, I don't think I'll let it.
Okay, cool. All right, Casey. We've got active sensors on the region where we saw the anomalies. So I think at this point, there's not much more we can do.
I'm gonna assume it was a momentum spend.
Yes. Sorry.
Very good. Let me know if anything new develops, and I'll come give you.
You got it.
Casey will return to the bridge.
All right, where would you guys like to?
I could comb the Tellarites for information. Carouse them, ask them what's up. Say what's
sure.
up.
Sure.
Do you want me to just do a roll and skip past it, or do you want me to role play, or what do you want to do?
Oh, we'll have some fun.
Okay.
So let me find the door chime. Enter.
She'll walk in with a girlish smile on her face. Look over at the man.
Oh, it's you again. What do you want?
Just wanted to see if you were managing well, if the temperature was good for you. I mean, if it's too cold in here for you, maybe I should range the temperature.
Oh, the ship is always too airy. Look how big this space is. So much wasted space. You could fit half a crew in. Could fit double the crew in here if you just manage this space.
I know. You know, I could get you smaller quarters if you'd like.
Oh, I'm not giving up my quarters. I'm just saying, I'm sure you have bigger quarters than this.
Actually, the VIP suites are rather large, so my quarters are a little bit smaller, shall I see?
God, just look at all the wasted space here. You could fit 50 people in here.
She comes and she sits down. You seemed very agitated at the meeting.
Why would I not be agitated? Dealing with the Cardassians after everything they have done in this quadrant. What are you, fully?
I would just hate for people to see it as fear.
We sided with people that took on the Cardassians before. And look what dealing with the Federation got them.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good point. But things have changed. Things are changing. They're changing for your people. They're changing for the Cardassians.
The more you claim things change, the more they stay the same. You help the Cardassians now, and they're going to be turning around right back and conquering the rest of their old area. Mark my words, you help the Cardassians, there will be nothing but a thorn in your side.
The miners, they really need this shipment to go through, this trade deal?
We have many deals going through with many planets. This is just an expansion of our operation. A minor one.
Yet you're here, though.
Not an idiot.
But you really want to let the Ferengi win this deal? I mean, one would have to be an idiot just to let them win the deal.
I would hate to lose to a lowly Ferengi.
You know, as counselor, ship's counselor, I have the ear of the captain. If you were to have a good proposal, I could let him know. Without the Ferengi knowing.
If you ask me, the Ferengi is driving too high a bargain. But I do run a business after all.
And how is that business recently? You said that you were still gathering your materials. Have you been having trouble gathering your materials?
Oh, the workers have complained every now and then. Throw a few more slips in their pockets and they're happy.
You're not afraid of sabotage? Is this from one of the other groups?
We have our own security that can handle any sabotage in our camp.
So you have had sabotage.
Well, we are a competitive organization. This happens all the time. We sabotage another group, they sabotage us. But it's always our business that comes out on top. We do run a planet after all.
I might have heard one of the other groups wrong, but I heard that some of their things might have gone missing, their ore. You wouldn't happen to have any ore gone missing? Would you?
We are not missing any ore. And I guarantee you we can make this ship.
Well, the captain's gonna want to know how soon you'll be ready to go. He'll want a good proposal, something that will be beneficial for you and the Federation.
I think I could come up with terms. You could tell your captain I am ready to.
Well, I'll tell him that you didn't let your anger get the best of you, or fear.
I'm a Tellarite. I have no fear.
Well, if there are issues out there with some of the trading groups, the Federation's going to want to know. They're going to want to know, she says, if equipment's gone missing or ore's gone missing. You're going to have to assure us that either it has or it hasn't.
No ore has been stolen from us, if that's what you're trying to get at.
No equipment gone missing?
We are running at 100% occupational capacity.
Okay, I want to see if he's lying about that. That's my indirect way of kind of getting him to answer that. Well, it's kind of a direct way, but still.
You get the sense that he's just toying with you at this point. He's amused.
Okay. He's not flirting. I'm not going
to. Like you've won him over.
Okay.
Is like the feeling you're getting.
She stands up. She looks at him. She says, "Is there something I can get you?" She says, "Food, drink, perhaps."
This replicator can give me whatever I want. You may go talk to your captain. Make yourself useful.
She smiles at him. She turns and she saunters to the door. I always make myself useful. And something tells me that you do too.
And I'll just go over to the replicator as you exit.
Okay. I will stop to kind of listen to see if he gives an order to the replicator for something specific. Do I catch anything?
You just kind of hear a mumble, and then you.
Okay. I'll just check the computer logs later on. See what he was enjoying. Make sure to have some of it at the meeting, maybe.
All right. Where else would people like to go? We'll go ahead and enter the next scene, however. So we'll go ahead and put you at 3 momentum.
Yes, this is true. I'll do a background check on this Frankie Laras. I'll run a check on the other two representatives as well.
What would you like to know?
I would like to know if they have any criminal history. Hmm. Okay, cool.
Anything else? I forgot you had an office.
Kind of looks at a console and she considers. Don't have much information on the she'll use her contacts. She's going to see if she can get an uplink to a any kind of Romulan files on the Cavra. Maybe they know a little something that we don't. Okay.
Oh, let me add one thing to that.
Mm-hmm.
That's more like Romulan.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, she probably agrees. She laughs because she's on her own. No one can hear her laugh. So the Tellarite, are these like random occurrences? Are they against a specific person or people, or are they kind of barroom kind of stuff?
The last option.
Okay, cool. He has
I mean, Tellarites can't get drunk, but you know they're feisty.
Yeah. Okay, he has a temper. We can use that. Cool. Coolios. Oh, do we have any record of the last business transaction the Ferengis ever done? If you have anything on record about that.
Roll me
Mm-hmm.
an insight command roll.
Yep.
I'm going to make this a difficulty 4.
Okay.
Assisted by the ship's computer's command.
I will burn. How many dice can I get with free momentum?
2.
2. So I'll do that. I will burn our momentum for that if no one minds.
What focus?
Espionage.
I don't think so, but you would have succeeded anyway.
Okay.
Because you did roll a natural 1 and then 2 successes. Just need the ship's computer's command. Or was that the roll up there?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you guys get 1 momentum. It's a lot of silence, but it's a lot of cloak and dagger. Well, not cloak and dagger. Knowledge.
What kind of planet is it? Like a moon or like a class M or?
It's an M.
Okay. Someone with no past doing that. Interesting. Okay. Cool. Was it on behalf of the Ferengi, like herself, or was she negotiating a contract between other peoples?
I will take the momentum for that.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, cool.
All right. Is there anything anybody else would like to do?
I just let the captain know what I learned.
So, the Tellarite had. There's nothing missing, and supposedly they're fully operational.
They're very close to being fully operational. Well, he says he's fully operational, but it sounds like they need a little bit of time to ramp things up. They seem committed. I think he can really get over this whole anger issue he has for the Cardassians. I think the idea of losing the contract to the Ferengi is worse to him.
I see. And we don't know anything with sorry, I'm grabbing my notes. What about the Kavar? Did you get a chance to gauge anything with them?
I have not, other than that they're disappointed in the business dealings, it would seem. Nothing's changed. She says, I haven't spoken to them yet.
Before the proceedings resume, see what you can ascertain from them.
She's okay.
Be delicate.
She
Not
smiles.
start an international incident.
Sure, she says, I am a delicate flower. She goes to walk away.
She taps her comm badge. Lieutenant Casey,
Yes, Captain.
did you learn anything from our missing battery?
Absolutely nothing, Captain. I've never been so stumped by any problem. Our best hope at this point is we have set up a active sensor scan of the area in which the fluctuation first appeared, and we can only hope that it'll appear again and we can get some sort of better read.
Very well. Keep me informed, Lieutenant.
Understood, Captain. Will do.
The practice
You want me to roll?
back out.
You want me to roll for that interaction or no?
No, I have a lot of role play in this one, so we could role play a lot of this.
Cool. I wanna recruit Saru with me too. See if we can maybe play good cop, bad cop.
Okay, I can go with you.
And you are going to the
Cavro, yeah. I'll ask her ahead of time. If she wants to, if she would be okay with telepathically connecting. That way we can play off of each other.
She says, my talent in that area is lacking, but I'm sure we can arrange something.
Okay. She says, if you're not greatly skilled in it, she says I could help you with it if you like.
Yeah, raises an eyebrow. She said that would be logical.
Here, it's easy to connect. She says, take my hands. She puts her hands out.
Kind of looks at the woman's hand for a moment, and then she takes the hand.
Incredibly soft hand. She grips your hands and she tries to connect to you telepathically. Do I have to roll for that? Yeah, I guess I do, huh? Or maybe not. I don't know. I'll leave the. I'll let the GM. I'm not gonna make up rolls. I'll just I'll have the GM tell me if there's a roll or not.
standby.
Sure. The counselor has no qualms about making Saru feel kind of awkward as she holds her hands and kind of. I don't know. Your character seems very capable with edged weapons, and kind of rough and tough. And my character is definitely not like that. Definitely a softie. So she has no qualms about being a delicate flower in front of her.
Just kind of holds your hand. Got no facial expression.
I want you to focus on the sound of my voice. She tries a little bit harder, and with frustration, she says, maybe it'll work with a little practice, she says. Doesn't seem to be.
Perhaps.
She looks her in the eyes. She looks at her eyebrows for a moment, and then she looks back at her eyes for a second.
She watches the other woman. She has no facial expression.
Right, so I guess we should be on our way then.
Yes.
Okay, right this way.
You mentioned something about law enforcement, she says, glances at the other woman.
Yes. There's a human saying, good cop, bad cop. When you're questioning someone to take a more likable approach, and then the other person to take a more dislikable approach, to see which way you can bounce someone in a conversation. They'll be comfortable with one of the ideas, just as someone that they can console in, or someone that, well, or maybe they're not comfortable with someone to console in. Maybe they like someone who's a straight shooter.
Well, you are the psychologist. It's logical that you take the lead in this.
You're probably a really good straight shooter. Did you grow up on Vulcan?
Yes. Yes.
She stops and she kind of turns and looks at her. You're not Vulcan, are you?
I am Vulcan.
I mean, you identify as a Vulcan, she says.
I identify because that's what I am. What are you getting at, Counselor?
Nothing. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm being rude. She says, it's just, you're not like any other Vulcan I've ever met.
Oh, she says.
And maybe it's just little things. She says, when you get into interspecies relations and you spend years in interspecies relations, there are little things that pop out at you, and maybe my mind's just getting the best of me.
You seem troubled. Are you sure you are able to negotiate with these species? Perhaps the stress of it is weighing down on you.
No, it's not that, she says. It's just sometimes certain individuals in interspecies relations, well, they rub you the wrong way, she says, and I don't know, maybe I don't want to be rubbing you the wrong way. I think maybe we got off at the wrong foot. Another Earth saying.
Counselor, I'm a Vulcan. It's not possible to rub me the wrong way.
Am I able to detect her emotions?
You could try.
I definitely want to try to see if she's keeping her cool. If the GM lets me. Then it'll put it to rest in my mind. Because Betazoids like honesty. Oh, okay, let's see here.
Kind of clasps her hands at the small of her back.
Well, maybe it's just an incompatibility between the two of us. That happens too, she says. I hope that won't let our working relationship be strained.
You seem very worried by this, she says. Rest assured, I do my duty, and I expect that you will do your duty too.
I will, Commander, she says. And as far as the delegation's concerned, she says, I have no worries with them. She says, I feel they're quite manageable. As a matter of fact, I'm actually a little fond of the Tellarite. I have a Tellarite friend. She says, here we go. She points to the door.
She walks over to the door and she presses the ring button.
Come in.
In we go.
And you both enter the room and you see both of the Cavra sitting next to each other on the couch. Commanders, what can we do for you?
I thought we'd pay you a visit, see how you were doing, how your accommodations were. You're warming up to your accommodations.
These are rather lovely, thank you.
And you don't require separate quarters, she says?
No, that would be unwise for us to be separated.
I've also come to talk about some concerns the captain has for the delegation and for the trade talks. Do you mind if I sit? If we sit?
And they point to the chairs that are on either side of a little coffee type, like a little coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She'll sit down.
Saru sits down, but she sits down last.
We're aware that all the groups involved just have some anxieties and reservations, and as a representative, she says, of the Federation, we want to work towards quelling those reservations. Any worries that you might have?
We have worries of the Cardassians coming back to take over our planet. Last time they were brutal to us.
Yes, I could certainly imagine. Just, the thought of that is both appalling and frightening, she says.
The forced labor was bad enough, but it was the separation of our pairs that was the true travesty of this entire endeavor. The Cardassian scientists would purposely separate us just to see what'll happen, just to cause us pain, to the point where many of us died.
I can only imagine this is what your people have been through just over these years. But I can say that where the Federation goes, where it makes new deals, business trades, new relationships, the Federation will follow, and so will its ideals. And the Federation represents a different set of ideals than the Cardassians do. We wish to increase peace in the region. And by establishing trade and by establishing new deals to help secure the change that has happened in the region. To improve things.
But could this trade also be made to allow the Cardassians to regain their strength, regain their power, and come back and occupy our planet again?
Your assessment of their empire is illogical. The amount of ore that we would use and the aid that we would give them is not sufficient to affect them to the point where their own empire would grow to a turning point to invade you. If they are to invade you, they will do that regardless. Your logical step would be to
forgive us, Commander.
Yes.
Forgive us, Commander. All we know is what the Cardassians are capable of. We have lived for many generations with the Cardassians' proverbial boot on our shells.
Logic dictates that strengthening yourself protects yourself. Securing this deal would strengthen yourself financially and allow you to build defense and posture.
We are not a warlike people, Commander. We have no use for defense mechanisms.
Physicality defense is only one version of it. Another one is posturing. Your defense in terms of strength in relations. If you are a valid business partner of one or multiple empires, those empires would take a very dim view to their own deals being interfered with a foreign power.
She looks at the word empire, kind of looks at her for a second, and then back to the fish people.
And what protection could you possibly offer us that would keep us safe from the Cardassians?
these are the type of things that we could talk about. She says, in the trade deal. You could put your anxieties on the table and we could take them to our captain and she could address them. She says, you have to know that the families, your society being a peace-loving society, a family society, you have to know that the Cardassians, their children and their families that are rebuilding after this war, their minds are going to start changing now with the rebuilding. You could be
We
a
are
part
not
of that.
unsympathetic to the plight of the young Cardassians on the planet, but we've seen them grow up. We know what wickedness they are capable of.
Of course, she says, and same can be said about many other races, even races within the Federation. She says, but a new opportunity for a new generation, for them to grow up differently in a world, in worlds, this sector of space, a different sector than it once was. And you get to be a part of that through trade, through helping building their homes, through expanding your own strength through the Federation and through others.
If we are to even consider this deal, and they slide a pad over to you. Oh, someone dropped.
Wait, am I still here? I'm still here. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Casey moved his head forward for some reason.
She looks at the pad and she will pass it over to Saru as well. After she reads it, she'll take a moment to read it and let it sink in.
Saru looks at the pad and she raises an eyebrow.
I can take these. I can take this to my captain. It doesn't sound unreasonable.
The commander looks at her. It would be premature to make a judgment on this and to give our opinions at this stage, for we lack the rank and the influence to make these decisions. However, we can take this to the captain for consideration. Logic would dictate that you have counter offers in case this offer cannot be met.
Hello?
Yep.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello. There are some concerns for your delegation.
What kind of concerns?
Concerns in the area if equipment has been stolen or gone missing, or perhaps even ore that has gone missing.
Our ore mines are located far beneath our oceans. They are relatively safe from anyone that wishes to steal our resources.
She nods her head. Well, we are concerned for the well-being of all the delegates. I would have been remiss if I asked to put these rumors to rest. She looks at her and wants to judge her feelings when she says rumors, putting the rumors to rest, wondering what she thinks of these rumors. Also, she quickly turns to the pad and says, "We can take this to our captain, and she will be the one," she says, "to decide on these matters."
And Both of them nod in agreement.
I hope that we can go a step further to extend our courtesy to you and our... I hope that we can all get along, she says, and communicate effectively. Honesty, she says, amongst my people is number one. And we want to be as honest with you as possible. And we would like to see... Well, we are open to seeing that your kind benefit from this. That many people benefit from these trades in the region. Your concerns are here, she says. We'll take them to the captain.
And they nod, and then they just kind of look at each other, and maybe a form of internal communication. You're not quite sure.
Let us not bother you any further. Are you sure there isn't anything else we can do for you? Accommodations or...
No, thank you, Commander. We have everything we require.
Okay, if you'd like a tour of the ship, she says I can easily be contacted. She informs them of, how to contact her or whatnot. And she will take the concerns, they will take the concerns to the captain.
All right. Was there anything else that needed to happen before, I'm assuming, the conference room meeting with all the senior staff? At least
Yes.
I'm assuming where this is heading. I don't want to speak for you
So,
guys.
just real quick, just out of game, did the Admiral, give certain guidelines? So I know you didn't send them to me, what she can and can't offer? Obviously not the Federation, but... Okay.
I think
That
that
answers my question.
cool.
Yeah.
I will take this information to the captain here. I'll paste it for you, man. Where's thing go?
We can
Frax.
roleplay that out.
Sure.
Because I'm pretty sure Saru has some information too.
Sure.
All right. So, is there any last minute
Yep.
things before we want to do this? This is our information.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Oh, good.
Okay. One moment, please.
Captain, I'm detecting a fluctuation in subspace, roughly 20 kilometers aft, but I can't determine the cause of the fluctuation.
That's coming from the Security Council.
Oh. Okay.
No, DeGrasse, that was for you because you set up the thing earlier. That's going to the security.
Right.
Gotcha.
So, Security Console, roll me Insight Security, difficulty 2.
Right. I'll generate a threat for bold.
Man, that bold is working wonders for you tonight.
Yeah.
And then probably assisted by structure security. All right, I got you guys at 3.
Captain, it appears that several phaser focusing arrays are missing from the phaser.
With the shields up?
Yes, Captain, and the phasers cannot be used until these components are replaced. I recommend we increase to yellow alert.
We're at blue alert, Lieutenant. I don't even know what.
I thought yellow was higher.
Well, blue alert raises the shields.
Right.
Yellow raises shields and puts the ship on a tactical readiness, and then red alert arms everything.
Captain, this is what you. This is what you thought when you mentioned things missing. Are things going missing on our ship?
Yes, obviously. Lieutenant
Captain.
Casey, arm quantum torpedoes. Go to red alert.
Red alert, aye aye.
Captain, I would suggest radioing the other ships to let them know what's happening. Us jumping to arming our weapons may startle them.
Yes, Captain. Our
inform the other vessels.
Our conversations just regarding things missing were related mostly to trade and to the ore or equipment, but not to their ships. She says I didn't ask them about that in particular.
They may not even know about it. Lieutenant DeGrasse, on your sensor scan, was the in the same area? They appear in the same location as before?
GM, was it in the exact same location? Captain, it was near to it, but aft to the ship this time.
Could it be a cloaked vessel?
I will. I'll see. So, how do I scan for a cloaked vessel?
It was more of a rhetorical question.
Gotcha.
She says, I haven't had a chance to speak with the Ferengi. She says, but the other two delegations, they seem wrapped up in the proceedings. It's pretty typical. She says, I don't see any malice from them, or they would want to risk, she says, stealing stuff from us.
Commander Saru, did you, on your investigation with Laris, what did you find?
I found out some an interesting holes in her business records. In fact, that she has none at all, which is unusual for a Ferengi. They like to display their victories. It generates a sense of trust in that they're a trusted business partner. She has little to no history whatsoever, other than inquiring in the purchase of a planet for her own needs. It seems unlikely that an amateur businesswoman would have the acumen or the resources to do that. There is a complete blank in the information that I could get. It doesn't sit right with me at all. I would suggest, Captain, if I may, that the delegates be confined to quarters. Our phasers are now out of action. However you look at it, we have been disarmed.
You still have torpedoes and quantum torpedoes. Lieutenant
Still
Casey,
Captain.
open a hail to the other two vessels, not the Ferengi one, the miners, and ask if they've had any equipment go missing on board their vessels.
Understood, Captain.
Captain, may I say, confining them to their quarters, she says, the sound of an alert, she says, does very little to raise their confidence, she says, in a trade deal.
Captain, the other vessels do not report any missing equipment. Might I add that the Bitis colony was also reporting missing equipment on their world. Perhaps there is some connection to this. If we could piece together the parts that have gone missing and see what could be built out of them, if we could get an inventory of what was missing from the Bitis colony and combine it with what is missing from our ship, there may be a device that someone is trying to construct with the components they're taking.
Bring all the delegations to the conference room. I think it's time for a upfront conversation. You'll still remain at this alert status.
So, to the conference room?
Yup.
And, whatever time it takes for everybody to collect themselves in the conference room passes. All the delegates take their places. And the Ferengi will speak first this time. Captain, are we here to resume negotiation?
Not exactly. I want to be upfront with all of you here. There's some suspicious activity going on here, and I want to kind of confirm something here. Mr. Sorry, I'm scrolling up. Mr. Blob, you had a situation on your on your colony that equipment was missing?
Nothing important, Captain.
Can you be specific, please?
It's a typical thing that happens between mining colonies. Sometimes we like to raid each other's colonies, and sometimes equipment gets taken, sometimes it gets stolen.
I need you to be perfectly specific here, Mr. Blob.
We just lost some food stores and a laser drill or two. Nothing important.
Could this laser drill be used in mining operations?
Well, that's the only kind of drills we have, Commander.
Could your laser drill be modified to be used with phasers to accelerate the mining process?
It would take a lot of know-how to do something like that and a lot more equipment.
A Federation standard battery power supply?
I guess that would generate a lot of power. I'm not too familiar with the Starship component.
Been in any violent fights recently? She says and looks over at the Tellarite.
No more than you, I would assume.
And far more than me. Perhaps you recently were in a fight with someone and this person looks to discredit you. Perhaps there is someone who would gain from the finger being pointed at you, she says.
I am the trade delegate for the Bitness colony. I couldn't even list the number of enemies I have on one hand.
And you're certain that you could be operational for the required amount of the ore that we need?
Of course, Captain. It's a simple matter of switching our mining operation from the deuterium we're mining to the whatever the hell I called this ore.
Explodium.
No, not explodium.
It's explodium.
The Ferengi will speak now. So, Captain, is there a situation on this ship that you're not telling?
There is, and I have some very concerns with you. You recently acquired a planet, though you have no other financial gains or transactions per se for the Ferengi, and usually Ferengi love to boast about their business dealings.
In that regard, you are exactly correct, Commander. What better boasting can I have than to be the first female Ferengi to own her own planet?
My question is, how did you acquire this planet, as well as do you even have the mining equipment to mine for this? Or
So she inquired about the planet, she didn't acquire it. So just so you got that.
Yeah.
oh, she hasn't
Correct.
acquired it. Like
She
doesn't-
looked. So she like, how much would this cost? Is essentially what she did.
She's counting her chickens before they're hatched. Or her eggs. Before the chickens hatched. Eggs! I want to watch her very, very closely and try to use my normal psychology since I can't use empathy. Empathetic ability on her. So I want to just really watch her. That's going to be my focus the entire time in this conversation. And the room is just
Okay.
basically paying attention to her.
Surely, Captain, you can understand how a big status symbol like that will help the female Ferengi cause.
I'm all for helping the female Ferengi cause. However, I do not like when components of my ship go missing.
What components have gone missing on your ship, Commander?
Equipment that I do not wish to disclose at this time.
If I may, and she looks over at the Ferengi, you said you have a source of this ore. We would be remiss to go into business without knowing whom the source and where it is located. Perhaps you could provide that.
Perhaps I could provide it, Commander, but knowledge equals profit. And until I am sure of the profit, my knowledge is not for sale.
Blap, you did say that you're ready. Your operation is ready to go, right? She says.
It will be a simple matter of converting our current mining operations to this. It will take a few days to make the necessary preparations, but we can begin mining on the ore within 5 days.
Seems pretty quick. She looks over at the Ferengi.
I can have your ore tomorrow.
Who said that? Was that the...
The Ferengi said.
And you really haven't even acquired a mining operation yet. You promise that you will have an ore ready to be delivered by tomorrow. I believe you are taking the rule of acquisition 5 very seriously.
I live by the rule of acquisition number 62, Commander. The riskier the road, the greater the profit.
I want to do a cold reading on her. Is she definitely like hiding something? Like holding information back?
Can I
Go ahead and roll me Presence Command difficulty 4.
Would I be able to assist him with my my insightful guidance thus far in the conversation?
Probably not at this exact moment.
Okay.
Deception or as for a focus? Is she trying to deceive me?
I'll let you roll it.
Okay. Insatiable I'm going to use my determination on the value insatiable curiosity. Or by reason or by force.
I think the by reason or by force might work.
Okay. And you said difficulty 4.
But one moment, please. Let me double check her. Okay, yep, difficulty 4.
Spending 2 of the momentum. Take 3 threat.
All right, I'm going to take that 3 threat and spend 1, make the complication range 3.
That's 1 momentum gained.
So you're at 2.
Don't have bold or cautious, so I'm gonna buy off that complication with the momentum we have. That's okay with everybody. Yeah, that's 5 successes. With cold reading, I do get 1 free question from it.
Okay.
Does she get nervous at the fact that I mentioned that equipment has been taken from the ship? And that we were still at red alert? Did she, like, her body language seem that she was being more agitated from that? Wondering if we were onto her. Because I have a sneaky suspicion she's the one behind this.
I'm going to spend 2 threat to change the answer slightly.
Okay.
Maybe not, or maybe so.
Okay. I'm just going to point this out. There will be no deal or negotiation if equipment is being stolen off my vessel. I do not appreciate that sort of gesture when we're all here to make a fair business deal. If that equipment is not released back into our custody, I will be forced to detain all vessels in the area. And currently, where the anomaly that we have noticed, I will open fire on it within the next 2 minutes.
And the Tellarite will say, "You dare accuse us of such treachery?"
If you have nothing to hide, then you would not be offended by this action.
I knew it was a bad idea to get back in bed with the Federation. We are better off by ourselves.
Mr. Blob, I am not here. I'm here to offer you a fair business deal that would go great for your colony. Yet, I am being betrayed and backstabbed by equipment being stolen off my vessel. I do not appreciate that.
And you dare blame us for this?
I never said it was you. I said it was someone here in this room.
The captain doesn't have to explain herself to you. We've made what will happen clear. You're used to raiding and being raided. You understand how this works. Stop posturing. We're here to make a deal. Once we find where our equipment is and find out who did it, we can commence our deal. Of course, if you want to back out, you can do that, but you'll lose out on profit. And you are here for profit, are you not?
I will not do business with someone who accuses us of crimes and threatens us with arrest.
Blob says, I thought you were beyond your anger and fear issues.
I will not stand idly by as the Federation tramples over our business. You call this a negotiation, I call this a travesty.
We are your customers. It would appear that you don't know how to conduct business.
It would appear that you only conduct business with threats.
I will not idly sit by and watch Federation technology be handed over to individuals outside of Starfleet. I will see to that that equipment that was stolen destroyed. Do I make myself clear to everyone here in this room?
The Kevra are silent in all of this. The Tellarite is physically pissed at this point, and the Ferengi has a smile on the face.
I will continue to pay attention to the Ferengi, and as far as the Tellarite's going, this business deal is going good so far. I ain't heard no fat lady sing.
She taps her comm badge. Lieutenant Casey.
Yes, Captain.
Could you extrapolate a course of the anomaly that the anomalous readings that we've been detecting and calculate a firing solution?
I'll try my best, Captain.
I don't need you to try your best. Can you do it?
Yes, Captain.
Prepare to fire quantum torpedoes upon my command.
Understood.
I like to the captain. Captain, are you sure this is necessary? Kind of overacting a little bit.
That Federation technology has been stolen. We have no idea what to use. The phase arrays on this vessel are highly dangerous and in the wrong hands could prove devastating cost down the road. I will not let them fall into hands. We'll find the ore another way if we have to.
Okay, she tries to act and put on kind of a disappointed look so that the two people that she's dealt with, actually all three of them, can see that she's like, oh my god, she's really gonna do it.
And the Tellarite is just kind of stewing in his chair.
Any psychological tells from the Ferengi yet?
Just still like happy, content.
I'll switch my perception more over towards the fish people.
And the Ferengi will speak up finally. Well, Captain, it appears that you have scared off the Tellarites. I don't think that Kavra, did you say it was, are going to want to negotiate with you now, but my offer still stands.
Your offer means nothing to me, Lars. I'm sorry, but you come in here with kind gestures and in good faith. I don't appreciate my equipment being stolen. Yet you seem to sit here smiling, yet you are acting nervously the entire time, which to me is very suspicious.
I'll admit I am a little nervous, but you would be nervous too on your first trade negotiation. And one that could be this profitable?
Lieutenant Casey, are the quantum torpedoes primed and ready?
Yes, Captain.
Prepare a full salvo.
Understood, Captain.
Acquisition Rule 27 says there's nothing more dangerous than an honest businessman. And you know that the Federation strives for honesty. She looks over at the Ferengi.
Now I'm willing to come to a fair business drill if my equipment is returned to me, no questions asked. And I will forget about this incident. But mark my words, I will fire.
Something tells me you're going to be firing on a empty space, Commander, because I think you might have gone off your rocker. You blame us who are here to do business in good faith, and yet you call us all criminals when you have a clear and obvious security breach. Now, these two might not want to do business with someone so unscrupulous such as yourself, but I'm a Ferengi. I have no such
You would also have no quorums to steal from your customers as well.
You are correct in that regard that Ferengi in the past have stolen to give themselves edge in earning. But I assure you, Captain, that is not me.
The commander looks over at the captain. She says quite openly, perhaps jumping to conclusions based on someone's species would be illogical in this case. We could always board all 3 delegates' ships and search them. And she
That
sort
is
of
an
glances
excellent
back
idea,
towards
Commander.
them.
And the Ferengi will sit down in a chair. Be my guest, Captain. I have absolutely nothing to hide.
And on that note, though, Commander, while I do agree with the boarding action, it would only agitate the other 2 delegates here, which is exactly what the Ferengi wants. Meanwhile, we potentially looking at maybe a cloaked vessel that is able to remove massive equipments from our ship. So boarding them might seem futile at this point, Commander, unfortunately.
If there is a cloaked ship out there that's able to remove components that are connected to a Starfleet vessel while its shields is up, I would suggest we cancel this negotiation and leave.
It would be dangerous for all the parties involved.
I want to do an insight on the 2 shellfish people. Kratz, is that right?
Yep.
Kratzu.
What are you trying to find out?
What is their sort of demeanor at this point? Like tails or...
Yeah, Insight Command.
Sorry, you cut out there.
Insight Command difficulty 2.
Probably don't have a focus for this. Difficulty, or take a threat.
Yikes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and spend 4 threat to increase complication range to 3.
Okay, well.
I'll just gauge on what you... Oh, God, yeah. Alright, you get a momentum out of that.
Can I apply the insightful guidance yet?
Kratsu, is it you are still interested in, from what I believe, a apology letter from the Cardassian and certain, a formal apology from the Cardassian government, as well as promised protection of the Federation? I believe that some of these that we could definitely oblige if you are willing to continue negotiations on that.
All right, let us do an opposed check. Let's go presence command. And I'm going to spend 3 threat to roll 2 extra dice.
It's opposed.
Yep.
Persuasion for a focus.
Sure.
Can I assist him?
Nope.
Take 2 threat.
Get him. Get him, Prax.
I'm gonna try. I'm rolling 4 dice, so
You don't have a determination right now?
I spent it earlier.
I got mine. Don't worry. If you... Oh, hey, there you go.
6
Say
to
what?
4.
We would be willing to trade with you, Commander, but your demeanor in this regard is most distressing to us.
I do apologize for my demeanor, but I do not take too kindly to my equipment from my ship being stolen. I believe it's a direct attack upon us, which I'm sure you people understand when your culture was occupied by the Cardassians.
We understand perfectly well, Commander, but we also know someone who is bullying people to get what they want as well.
I am not
We are
trying
we
to
are
bully anyone here. I'm trying to get my equipment back as well and make a peaceful transaction.
If you are able to handle this situation without the need for violence, we will agree to negotiate with you. We have seen enough death in our lifetime. We wish to not be party to it any further.
I can sympathize with that. Lieutenant DeGrasse, Counselor, if you can continue, I need to go to the bridge for a moment.
Certainly, Captain.
If you excuse me.
To the bridge. I have no idea who's on the bridge.
I don't think I am. Right?
I believe Casey and DeGrasse are on there.
Yep.
Yep.
Lieutenant Degrosky, do you think you could scan for any Federation energy signatures outside of our own? That backup battery should be able to produce some sort of low EM signature that we could use to scan. If there's a cloak vessel harboring it, we hopefully could locate it.
Aye, Captain. I can try. And so, control plus science.
Roll me. Yeah, go ahead and roll me a control science. I'm gonna make this a difficult.
Okay. So I'll give you 1 threat. And sensor operations focus supplies.
Yep. Oh, I guess it. Yeah, I guess it is a difficulty 2 with the ship. Sensor science. All right, you guys get 2 moments.
Woo!
In the meantime, I'll tell the delegates, offer them braccacinos or whatever, and say I've never seen her like this before. But don't worry, she's determined. She's gonna figure it out. It'll all get taken care of shortly. That's what she'll
The
tell them.
commander just kind of sits there at the table and watches them, with a very impassive look on her face.
She'll offer them refreshments.
Captain, I just detected a fluctuation in subspace. 10 kilometers towards the bottom of the ship. I still can't determine the cause of this fluctuation.
Lieutenant Casey, lock tractor beam on that fluctuation.
Understood, Captain.
All right, I'm gonna spend some threat here. I'm gonna make this a difficulty 4.
Use your determination.
Right. Okay. I need a value for that.
Yes.
Would remember the rest valid value. That's his ship that blew up in the Dominion War. As in, like, remember when his ship was blowing up, so he doesn't want his next ship to.
We'll tough it out.
I don't think so, but keep in mind your directive did change as well.
Yeah,
Wait,
you could use the directive.
I should say you got a new directive issued in the beginning of the lesson.
Wait, so can I use a value or not? I'm a little confused.
So I don't think any of those values would work, but you could use the what the hell? One of the directives to spend the value or to spend a determination.
Okay, so what is a directive? I don't think I'm familiar with. Is that just like?
So there was a directive at the beginning of the game that was said in the captain's log, but also the last line that the I'm forgetting my own names of my creations. That the Cavra said was, if you could find a peaceful solution to this, we'll trade with you.
So like the directive is find a peaceful solution?
Right. So using the tractor beam as opposed to firing your torpedoes at it would be a more peaceful way of doing this.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, I get
that makes sense to me. I don't know if it made sense to anybody else.
No, it makes complete sense.
So, so I'm rolling here.
I believe you.
Now I gotta figure out what to roll. Is tractor beam under shipboard weapon systems?
So it's still control security because you still have to hit whatever it is.
Yeah.
So give him a threat and then spend a momentum, and you can roll 3 dice. That way.
Okay.
That way you get the reroll.
And I believe tractor beam is weapons and structure.
So I can use my shipboard weapon systems focus.
Yes.
Okay. I'll roll this then.
And
Yeah.
there's 3. It's up to the ship.
He gets a reroll.
He does get a reroll.
It did nothing.
Just
Very
so
cool.
else.
So you could use a value. I don't have a determination to give you. You could challenge a value. You can challenge a value to get a determination and then spend it on the directive again.
Wait, I think so. What we're doing here is a peaceful solution, right? The value uphold tradition I use that as like a short form of like upholding like Starfleet core ideals of like peaceful solutions, and that could uphold tradition, like Starfleet's tradition of peaceful resolution, be considered an appropriate value.
So what he was saying was you have to find a way to challenge one of your values to try to get a point of determination back.
Oh, I see.
So
Yeah.
So you're essentially challenging a value negatively. So you would get rid of the value, and then you gain a point of determination, which then you can use to re-roll 2 dice by citing the value. The value that you used earlier to spend your determination.
I don't see what value I could challenge.
I might be able to hone in my empathic ability to that area now that I know that there's an actual area that it's in. Look out the window or something and be like, is there people there? Do I see things?
Since I gave him an order, can I assist on this though?
He did direct him. Was it direct order?
We're not in combat, so
You can't use that for social ones too?
But this would
I'm sorry.
technically be combat.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, it's a situation.
okay, it is technically then a direct.
Please
So-
save me.
I will do it in exchange for 2.
You cut out.
Doeth, I will let you assist for 2. And the way I see it working is he says I can't get a lock, and you say let me try. Is how I see it.
Okay.
While they're doing that,
So what's my role then?
I will let you choose either presence command or control security, whatever's your best.
I'll use presence command. Strategy and tactics for a focus.
That works.
while they're doing that, can I try to persuade the Ferengi to drop the charade? Charade.
And the Ferengi will say, I don't know what you're talking about, Commander. But back on the bridge, the tractor beam hits the outline of some type of cargo ship.
It's not
Hail the cargo hail that vessel.
Understood, Captain.
I'll ask
This
if
is
it's
Captain.
Romulans.
I would too. That thought crossed my mind, to be honest. It really did.
That'd be awesome.
This is Captain Israel Prax. Drop your cloak and lower your shields. The charade has gone on long enough. I do believe we have a tractor lock on them too, which
Yep.
a difficulty 6 for them to break free, or difficulty 5. I don't remember.
I believe it's scale of ship. I don't know. It depends what your ship. But there has been no response. But Casey's console reads that they did receive.
And the tractor beam is holding.
Yep.
Do we know if it has shields?
Well, technically it's out of it. Lieutenant DeGrasse, can you locate the our missing equipment on board that cargo ship?
I can give it a shot, Captain.
All right. I'm going to make this a control science. A base difficulty of 4. I spent 2 threat to make it a 4. I'm going to give it a complication range of 2. I spent 2 threat to make it the complication 2. This is by ship sensor science. So it'll be a difficulty 3 when it's all said and done. Complication range 2.
Gotcha. So if I give you 1 threat, that would boost me up to 3 die.
Correct.
It'd be one threat and 2 momentum to get up to 4.
1 threat and 1 momentum for 4
It'd
dice.
be 1 threat and 2 momentum for 4 dice. Because he needs total of 3.
Right. So he gave me a threat to buy the 3rd, and then you guys had 1 momentum. So it'd be 1 more threat and the 1 momentum. So 2 threat, 1 momentum for 4. Backwards way of looking at it. Yes.
Okay.
It works.
Sensor science.
Boom.
Yep. But he crushed it. You get 2 momentum back.
Captain, I do detect our missing equipment on board that vessel.
We'll have to probably use a supporting character for this, but prepare to take Casey. Do you think you can beam over a security team? And see
Yes,
that
Captain.
ship? We'll activate, prepare an away team and prepare to beam over.
Yes, Captain. Will I be leading this away team?
You will indeed. Before you do that, open channel one more time.
Understood. He opens the channel.
Unknown cargo vessel, this is your final warning. We'll be preparing to beam over. A security detachment to seize your vessel. Drop your cloak and stand down. And I will make a roll.
And all of your missing equipment has appeared on the bridge.
He's been appeared on the bridge.
We have given back what you want. Let us go. It's Levis who is the one that contracted us. Or Laris, sorry.
We should board them
I
anyway,
see.
Captain.
And you are?
I am nothing more than her employee.
I see. I suggest you find a new employer elsewhere. If I
On that
catch
we
you
can
doing
both
this,
agree, Captain.
if I catch you in this area of space doing this thing again, I will not hesitate to fire upon your vessel and destroy it. Do I make myself clear?
1 second, I have a response I gotta find. God damn it, where is it? We have a saying where we come from, Captain. You can't make a deal if you're dead.
Right. And did your one before thing before I let you go? Why did Laris employ you to do this? Do you know what her goal was in all of this?
What's the goal of any Ferengi?
Profit and more profit. I'm assuming that sums it up.
Quite clearly, Captain.
Very well, but you will drop your cloak and remain here for the time being until we see that your employer is well taken care of. Official business of paperwork. I think you might understand.
I think we have a deal.
Very good.
And the ship decloaks, and it's of a similar design to that the Ferengi delegate came in.
And she motions to cut the channel off. Lieutenant Casey, I want you to make sure that that vessel doesn't try anything while I have a talk with a certain individual.
Understood, Captain.
And Prax is going to head back to the conference room.
Captain, have you reconsidered my offer?
I believe that's from the Ferengi.
Yep.
Yes, I did. In fact, we're holding your cargo vessel currently with the tractor beam. We have received our equipment back, by the way, but the deal is off, and you're going to be under arrest.
She stands up. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, your employee spilled the beans on you. I'm very sorry. Commander Saru, if you don't mind, placing our one guest under custody. See to her that she is transported to the brig.
And on the way out of the conference room, she just says, "You can't find good help anywhere."
I'll say to Blimp, see, I told you the captain would protect. I like to both of them. Protect the best interests of you all.
I am sorry for the charade. I needed to scale up the negotiations a bit to see someone's true intentions.
And the Tellarate will sit there and say, "You play quite a dangerous game, Captain."
I do indeed.
She leans forward. She leans forward to him. She says, "But wasn't it an enjoyable one?" She says to him, kind of giving him like a wink.
And for the first time on this trip, it was quite enjoyable.
Now, I believe you have a situation where you have missing equipment. I'm wondering if I have a certain cargo ship under tow. Perhaps they might have your equipment there. I can see to it if it does there, it's returned to you.
I think they will need it more than we do, Captain. Our equipment has already been replaced.
Well, let's just say I believe they're out of business at this point in the talks.
If you do find any of our missing equipment, do with it as you wish.
Now, both of you have many things to gain from this trade deal, and so does the Federation. I know many of you have grievance with the Cardassia people, but I see no reason why that I couldn't offer you a trade deal between both of you.
To make this sit well in my stomach, Commander, I'm just going to consider that I am doing a deal with the Federation and not the Cardassians. What you do with the ore after that, none of my business. As long as the price is right, of course.
Of course.
Captain.
And what is your price?
He'll just slide you a pat across the table, and it seems reasonable.
She'll ask the captain if any of the, if there is trading, will ships be here to protect those trade?
I will be discussing that with the Admiral. I'm sure that with the current scale of escalations that happened here today, I'm sure the Admiral would want to have some sort of protection for those cargo vessels.
Okay, I'll kind of look at the fish people and kind of show them that, look, we're trying to meet your concerns.
As for the Kratsu, we could declare, I am authorized to declare a open friendship and defense pact with your nation. As for the apology from the Cardassians, that's going to take some negotiation from the diplomatic corps with Starfleet.
Roll
by offering
me.
you a, I was say by offering you a defense alignment, it would see to your protection needs. Yeah, I'll roll.
I think with that last one, I don't think we need to.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably insightful guidance him and get an extra addition to it, and you could get an advantage. And
yeah, I mean, this could even be the advantage you guys built earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think your terms will be acceptable, Captain.
Well, then I think we have an agreement here.
And they all nod.
I look forward to a very fruitful partnership.
All right, and with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are going to call that the end of rule number 62.